Hi, I'm Movie Man. I'm an octopus who reviews movies, and today's review is going to be on.
It's a really special place.
This was a film which, I knew it was coming out. I had seen the trailers and stuff for it, and I thought this movie actually looked alright. It wasn't a film which I was really looking forward to or anything, but you know, I thought it looked interesting. Granted, the concept for the film, not exactly the most original out there, but it did seem interesting enough, and there is a pretty good cast as well, but I think what was really interesting me about it is that this film is actually directed by Zoë Kravitz. Yeah, that's right, Zoë Kravitz, the actress, I have genuinely really liked Zoe Kravitz as an actress. I think we can all agree she was really good as Catwoman in the Batman. Now seeing her actually in the director's chair for once, I thought that sounded quite interesting. Yeah, I went in open minded, seeing maybe this could be a solid film. I seen that the reviews for it were looking good enough, so I went in, hoping for a good enough time, and I went to see the film there as of recording this review last night, and having seen it for myself now, what do I think? In my opinion, I thought this was honestly a pretty good movie. Overall, I had a good enough time with it. I don't think it was an amazing film or anything, but I had an enjoyable enough time with it. So getting further into my thoughts on the movie, to start things off, I have to say, I think the cinematography in this film is genuinely really good. There are a lot of good shots in the movie. With this movie being set on a remote island, and we just get all these party scenes and stuff. It's really well shot. There's some good color schemes in there, and not to mention, with the kind of whole psychological thriller that this movie's going for, we do get some really good shots. Some shots of some characters' faces, and kind of some wide angle shots. I think they're honestly really good. Given that this is Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut, I have to say I think that's honestly quite impressive. I think with her having worked in the film industry, having kind of had some kind of experience seeing like kind of how it was done. Like I mean, what she was able to pull off here was honestly quite impressive. So yeah, overall I have to say that the cinematography was very good here, and as well as that, I also think the editing was quite good as well. Like I mean, I have to say, I thought the movie did some like really interesting things with its editing. Because like throughout the film, we kind of get like those scenes of people just partying and stuff, but yeah, like I mean, I think the film's edited in a way to where like it may confuse you a bit, but then afterwards we find out that that scene may have happened like at a different point from the previous scene. And I think the movie is honestly quite quick with its editing. Like I mean, there's definitely a lot of times where it's kind of cutting from scene to scene, but I think honestly it's done kind of well enough. But I do think the film can honestly do some pretty interesting things with its editing at times. So yeah, overall I have to say the editing was quite good as well. Now as for the film's pace, now I mean, this isn't like too long of a film. Like this movie is an hour and 42 minutes, which I think is honestly good enough runtime for the film. And like I mean, I think the film kind of takes it slow and steady a bit with the pacing, because like we're introduced to our main character and a lot of the other characters, and then eventually like about like maybe 10 or 15 minutes into the film, we go to this island, and we kind of do just get like a bunch of scenes of the characters on this island, and all just having a good time and stuff. But it kind of takes a bit to until like about like maybe like 40 or so minutes into the film where like suddenly it starts to go into that whole like psychological thriller aspect, and confusing things start happening, and like I mean it like the movie kind of takes like its time getting that much. Once I think like it does a good enough job of building up things to where like eventually we can kind of get to that like whole aspect, and then once we eventually get there, like I mean, the film kind of slowly builds it up to we get like some revelation. You have to say, like I mean, what the movie did with its pacing was honestly quite interesting. Like I mean, I feel like maybe it could have been paced a bit better, but for the most part I think the pacing was pretty good. Now as for the sounds and music in the film, I think like the sound effects in this film are quite solid. Like I mean, throughout the film, we're kind of hearing like all these sounds, like I mean, champagne popping and stuff, and kind of sometimes you expect to hear on kind of this like party like area and stuff, but hear like all these kind of strange sounds throughout the film, and I think they honestly work well enough and kind of add to that like psychological thriller aspects of the film. But like in terms of like the music here, I think the movie overall has an alright score. It's not like a great score or anything, but I think it does alright for the scenes that they're in, but I will say though, in terms of like some of the needle drops in the film, because we do get some like notable songs in here, I will say there are some good like songs. Overall, I thought the sound and music here was quite solid. Now in terms of the characters and the performances from the cast, we start things off with our main protagonist Frieza, and I have to say, I thought Frieza was honestly quite a good protagonist. She is quite an engaging character, because she's having a good time at the island, but then eventually at some point she just starts to notice that some things are quite off, and once she kind of starts figuring things out, she kind of does become quite an interesting character, and we do kind of get some revelations with her character, which were honestly quite interesting. But yeah, overall I thought she was a solid main character, and I honestly think Naomi Ackie did quite a good performance, especially during some of the more kind of thriller scenes of the film. I thought she did very well, and she definitely led the movie very well, so I thought she did a good job here. Then we have Slater King, and of course he's the one who owns this private island, and he's billionaire tech mogul. Yeah, he was quite an interesting character. I think it's pretty much safe to say that he's basically this film's main antagonist with what he's kind of hiding and stuff, but yeah, I thought he honestly was a pretty good villain. He was genuinely intimidating, and that's what you're wondering what is going on here, what's he doing and stuff, and it's quite an interesting reveal, I will say. And honestly, I think Channing Tatum actually did a good job here. He plays what's honestly quite a different role to what you would expect from him, because if you know Channing Tatum, he's kind of really known for always playing the good guy and stuff. He's not really an actor who you would know for playing a villain, but I have to say he did a very good job here, and quite intimidating role. So yeah, I thought he was honestly very good. Now I won't get too much into a lot of the supporting characters, like the other people on this island. I will say, like, we didn't really get like a whole lot of depth to most of them as characters. Like, they were kind of all, kind of like one note and stuff, but to be fair, for the roles that they're kind of meant to serve in the film, they serve their roles well enough. Although I will say, we do actually have quite the supporting cast in this film. Like, we actually have some quite notable names here. Like, in the supporting cast, we have like Alia, shawkat, Christian, Slater. Like, because he's Slater, and there's also Chinese character Slater King. But yeah, we have Alia, shawkat, Christian, Slater, Simon, Rex, Levon, Hawke, Haley, Joel, Osment, Geena, Davis, Kyle, Maclachlan. Like, from what we do get of each of them, like, I think they honestly do, like, well enough here. Like, we do honestly get some, like, interesting supporting performances from them. Like, even if, like, some of them, like, they're not, even they're not, like, in the film for some of it, like, even if, like, one or two of them are kind of just, like, kind of glorified cameos and stuff, they honestly do serve their purpose in the film well enough, and, like, you can tell they're all kind of having kind of fun time, and, we will get some pretty funny moments with them, so I thought they did well enough. But I will say, though, out of the supporting cast, standout by far for me is definitely Adria, Arjona. Apologies if I pronounced her name wrong, but yeah, she stars in this film as Sarah, who's like, kind of one of the women on this island. First bit of the film, she's kind of just one of the other people on it, but like, as the film goes on, we actually kind of do like get a bit of focus with her character, and like I have to say, I definitely liked her, especially as the film went on. And also, as I said, I think Adria Arjona did genuinely really well here. Like, she's having a good year. Like, I really liked her in Netflix's Hitman. You haven't seen Hitman yet, you have Netflix, definitely give it a watch. I really enjoyed the film. But, yeah, she does well here too. She has honestly quite a good performance in this film, and like, there were actually some genuinely really funny scenes with her character. So I liked her. But yeah, overall, I thought like most of the characters were kind of one note, except for kind of some of the main characters. Like, I thought like especially some of the main characters were quite good, and I think overall like the acting, especially from like Naomi, Ackie, Tatum, and Adria Arjona were very good, and everyone else kind of had a bit of fun in there. So overall, I'd say it had good characters and good acting. Now, in terms of the film's plot, now this movie, the concept isn't exactly the most original one out there, because, it's basically a bunch of people get invited to this billionaire tech mogul's private island, and, they're all having a good time, but until, like, one of the women on the island starts to kind of notice that some things seem a bit off. Yeah, it's not exactly, the most, original concept out there. Even, when I saw a trailer for this movie, I kind of noticed, like, this film's kind of definitely taken, like, some inspiration from, like, a lot of other kind of movies similar to it. Like, some examples would be, like, Get Out, Don't Worry Darling, The Menu, Saltburn, you know what I'm saying, yeah. This film honestly does kind of seem like a bit reminiscent of a lot of those other movies. And well, I don't think this movie is like as good as a lot of those other films. For like on its own thing, I thought it honestly does like well enough. Like I mean, you know, it kind of takes its time, as I said, getting to the real like psychological thriller aspects, but when it eventually does, like I mean, you know, like we do get some interesting thriller scenes, and like it can honestly be like a bit suspenseful at times, and honestly a bit weird, alright, but I think the film does a solid job with it. But as well as that, there's actually a bit of humor in the film as well. And like overall, I would say the humor in this movie was quite well done. Like I mean, well, I don't think it was like a really funny film. There are a lot of jokes in this film that kind of did have me chuckling a bit. So, you know, overall, I thought the film did well with its humor, but like, you know, eventually we start to kind of get revelations about things and stuff. Like the film kind of seems to focus on like a lot of kind of, you know, different things and stuff, like all kind of different themes. And like, granted, I think like maybe they could have done like a better job with like, you know, kind of giving all of these themes like their time for focus, because like you know, we honestly do have like a fair few like themes in this movie, and like, well, they kind of struggle to sort of put them all together like into this one movie. But like I think it does like an interesting enough job with it. Even if like, you know, they could have done a better focus on them. Like that was kind of just my one problem with the pacing here, is that like, you know, I know maybe it could have been a bit longer, so it could have kind of, you know, had a bit more time to focus on like the multiple themes that the film's kind of trying to go for, but it does an alright job with them for the most part. Like obviously, I won't be getting into what they class the reveals are and stuff, but I will say though, like during the film's third act, I feel like especially it's really going to make this film kind of divisive, because like I mean, I feel like depending on kind of like your gender, you might react to this film a bit differently. Like I mean, with women, like I mean, right, I could see kind of some of them, you know, like genuinely really enjoying it, but like I mean, right, so I feel like maybe women might get like, you know, kind of sort of like a good enough time out of it. Now I feel like depending on if you're a male audience member, you know, you might kind of get like bit of a different reaction out of it. Like I mean, with kind of what they kind of try to do and stuff, but like I mean, I won't get into it, but like, kind of some of the themes which Zoe Kravitz begins to tackle during the film's third act, I will say I thought like it was quite interesting, and the overall how things sort of make sense a bit, but like I can definitely see it, being quite divisive among people, but nonetheless, I can respect the fact that, they were willing to sort of take that approach, to kind of take that whole swing with this, but overall I have to say I thought the plot of this movie was quite solid, even if it was a very familiar concept. The way they executed it was done well enough here, so overall I thought the movie did a good enough job with it. In terms of the film's narrative structure now, like, I mean, we kind of have like the main plot with our main character Frida, she ends up on the island and she kind of starts to notice some things are off, but as I said, that doesn't really happen until like a little bit into the movie, because there's kind of times, where we'll just have like these scenes of everyone just partying and kind of just having a good time, but like, I mean, in terms of like subplots, like, throughout the film, like, during the first bit of it, we're kind of wondering, like, what is going on with this island and stuff, but we kind of do, start to get revelations and stuff, but yeah, I won't get into it, but I will say some of the reveals are genuinely quite interesting, they do honestly make sense once things kind of start to come full circle a bit, and yeah, honestly, as I've said, I think like the film's third act, kind of what happens stuff, it will be a bit divisive, but like, I mean, like, granted, overall I think like it makes for an interesting enough narrative structure with like, the way that they're able to tie everything that was previously established in together and stuff. It's done well enough here, so overall I thought the film did well enough with the narrative structure. So overall, Blink Twice was a pretty solid film in my opinion. Like, I mean, I have to say, like, for Zoe Kravitz directorial debut, she did quite an interesting job with it. Like, I mean, we have like good cinematography, there's some good songs here, some pretty good sound effects. I think like a lot of the main characters of the movie focuses on are quite good, and there are some good performances here, and overall it does make for quite an interesting psychological thriller, and like, as well as having some pretty good humor, like we do get some interesting reveals that may be divisive among people, but overall it does, well with making it genuinely interesting and stuff. Like, I don't think this is like an amazing film. Like, as I said, I thought the movie just could have done a better job with like certain things, like kind of how it kind of focuses on like some of its themes, but for the most part I thought it was a pretty solid psychological thriller, and I will say, if this movie sounds interesting to you, like, if you're kind of gonna go for a film like this, overall I think it would honestly be a pretty solid watch. So overall, while I don't love the film, I had a pretty good time with this. So with that, I am going to give Blink Twice a 7 out of 10. So with that, I'll see you guys next time, and bye.